In terms of preparedness, in terms of seeing that the first sign of any disease is actually reported, and reported not just at the local level but at all levels, we need to use very simple tools. There has been educational attempt, there has been attempts to try to give advertisements, trying to sort of talk about hygiene or certain kind of behavior. We believe that such kind of education doesn't get far enough. We probably need to go further. As soon as some kind of a fear factor comes in, some danger comes in, their normal way of life gets disrupted, and they are ready to do whatever is required to see that they don't get into serious problem. And then they come with extremely innovative ways of trying to find local solutions. Therefore, the national, regional, and international response must understand this aspect of the people.
We're talking about not only the need to have the health IT tools in the hands of the providers, and most importantly in the hands of the individuals themselves in the form of personal health information resources, but also we need to connect those in an interoperable fashion so that that information can flow to the benefit of the individual and to the benefit of the community and the population as a whole.
We have not, as a world community, said, let's bring the institutions to respond to transnational threats up to snuff, up to capacity, up to the ability to move swiftly and to take the challenges on. So the first thing we desperately need is an entirely new architecture of global health. And it has to be involving a vast array of institutions that are not now formally involved. I think we need a vaccine. It needs to be broadly cross-reactive, better than 90% effective, not require a cold chain, and be preloaded in auto-destruct syringes. We need a genuine rapid response diagnostic. Similarly, we need advanced transport agreements between major corporations that manufacture goods that would be essential for the survival of the economy and for the provision of health in societies. If companies are not now engaged in advanced transport commitment agreements with the FedExes of the world, the DHLs of the world, the Maersk shipping and so on, all of the system falls apart. You can't make these agreements after the pandemic's already underway.
Yesterday, Tashi talking about transparency and the sharing of information. I think it's very important issues because how to share the information, how to create the transparencies. And China have demonstrated, and US have, UK has, and so many countries are having. How could we connect? It's not difficult because Craig Mundie has said this at the lunch, that we can connect it through the internet. And in that way, the information going faster than disease, so we can have better prevention program and try to stop it before it reaches there. Because now the disease going at speeds of jets or whatever may be faster. So the information have to go faster than disease. I think this is very important to have some global network on ICT that dealing especially with avian flu.
We have some specific questions that science will answer for us around hygiene to do with hands, masks, sneezing etiquette, issues like that we actually need to know the answers to. How is the flu virus passing? How close do you need to be? The size of the droplets, the type of masks, how long do the masks work? We need to do some economic modelling for our treasury, the money bags part of the government. We only get to give them money if we can build a business case which shows that by spending that, we as a society are going to be better off, or we're making a contribution to global society that is worthwhile. We have to build the economic models that show the risks and the trade-offs and the reasons why.